what's in my work is a sense of longing and distance and transience and moments about to be lost, but they're never lost. So all of those things to me have a certain kind of poignance that's all about memory. And you know, I don't think that anything does what painting does. Photography doesn't, videos don't. I mean, when you build a painting and you put all of that time and all those marks and all those little changes that people can barely see, all that kind of subliminal intensity that ends up living in the painting. Well, then if you make them really right, then they are kind of an intersection between yourself and the world, and other people can go through that. And I think that there's a point where when you're looking at art, you can actually replace yourself within your own psyche and your own world. And I think that that's a lot of my impetus, is to like make places for myself and other people to like actually kind of fully exist. But there's a paradox there, because for me to fully exist has to do with you have to be there at a moment of transience. Like otherwise it wouldn't be true. And I think that memories are like that. You know, you grab them for a second and you're back there, you're where you were. The unpeopledness of it has a lot to do with that. I think allowing people to just project into the work by themselves. And the vastness is important in the sense that it's like a place that you can expand into and shrink back into your own psyche at the same time. Well, I really love and care deeply about biodiversity and animals. And I wanted to go to Africa because I wanted to see it before everything is lost to the world. So I planned a trip with myself and Eric and two friends, and we went to Namibia and Botswana. This painting was from an actual place in Tanzania called Lake Eyasi. And I don't think that this looks like water as we know it here in our world, but in fact the water does reflect ochre there. I don't know why, I never figured it out. The way that the photograph was, it kind of flattened out without anything to give you an indication of space, and I just sort of started to see trees in it. So I actually took trees from a whole other place, also in Africa, but not this place, and I just kind of put them out on the plane and kind of separated them. Again, that's not true to this spot, but it is very much true to the way that trees grow in Africa. So there's like truth and lies going on in this painting. I wanted to go to this one place in Namibia that I'd seen photos of online called Sossusvlei, which has 1,000-foot high sand dunes that have moved in over centuries about 90 miles from the coast. It's a truly remarkable place, and I'd never seen anything like it. I kept seeing things that were extraordinary and absolutely new to me, and also completely familiar. I mean, you know, people say that it's the cradle of civilization, and et cetera, but it actually does feel, I've talked to other people about this, like kind of wrenchingly beautifully familiar in a weird way. But then there's this other thing, which is the art thing, which is not just this is where it all started feeling. It's also for me like these specific things that I was seeing that had the kind of gravity and power that I want in a painting and in an image that I want to like put in. So we went to Africa, and I took all these photos. I took like gazillions of photos, and then started working with them, because when I paint, I don't work directly from photos, but I put them in Photoshop, and then I work extensively on them. I so oftentimes collage them together. Oftentimes we'll take like a little piece of a photo and then attach it to some other thing, or you know, there's all sorts of transformative processes that go on, and I think of that process as being like a kind of a space that I allow myself to be in. It's like a reverie space where I can just kind of meander and find my way through to what the image seems like it should be. but Africa was the genesis, basically, for a lot of these paintings. And I don't mean to say that this is a show about Africa. It's a show about my vision of the world, as my shows always are, but I would be really remiss if I didn't give it credit for being such an extraordinary experience in my life.